welcome back. So today's video is going to be my 37-week pregnancy update. Ignore all the crap in the background. Behind me is my hospital bag, my pillow, my breastfeeding pillow, my cup I want to take to the hospital, a gift bag that's from the baby to my toddler, you know. So just ignore that, and then we had to move some other furniture. We have like some temporary position things because we've moved furniture for baby stuff and it's kind of hectic over here. But today I am 37 weeks and 3 days. I did have an appointment yesterday, so I wanted to go over that. And like, I never know when I'm gonna have this baby, so I want to make sure I'm like up on it. 37 weeks, 3 days. These earrings are really, really old, but I think that they're kind of cool, so I want to show you. I don't know where you can get them. They're like little phones, and the back is like the cord. But anyway, so I don't know if those are like distracting or if you're like, what are her earrings? They're weird. Okay, let me show you my belly. First of all, 37 weeks, 3 days. All right. Now that we got all that out of the way, I'm gonna try to sit in front of all the clutter behind me. Hopefully that helps fluff up my hair. Okay, so I had my appointment yesterday and I gained some weight. So up until 35 weeks and 2 days when I had my last appointment, so 2 weeks before, I had gained about 7 or 8 pounds. Like, I had gained some and then I had lost a couple. So between my 2 appointments, now it wasn't all new weight because I had lost some previously. Between the 2 week appointments, I was up 4 pounds. But it was later in the day. Normally I go in the mornings, and this was at 4:40 p.m. I think they weighed me around 5 p.m. So I'd already eaten, you know, another meal and snacked and had lots more fluids and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm like really hungry and constantly hungry. It was later in the day, but I wore the same outfit as I always do for my appointments. I've done that the entire time, and that outfit is getting snug. I even had it on before I left, after work, you know, before my appointment, and I went down to see my, you know, child and my nephews, and my nephew was looking at my stomach. I was like, okay, my shirt's a little tight. Okay, like it was like really cupping the bump. I'll put a picture in here if I can, if I have time. But yeah, he was like, your stomach's getting bigger. I'm like, I know. But I asked my daughter, Daisy, do you think mommy's belly is little or big?
Little.
Little, thank you. Good girl, but I don't care. It's just big. So here's some like pictures of my bump. I know I had like a 35 week to 37 week picture, and there's a big difference side by side. I also, here's the 4 week versus 37 weeks. I mean, my bump is huge, okay? Fundal height is measuring about what it should, about 37, 38 weeks. I think it was 38, but I was 37 too, and I measured 38. Not a big deal. If baby was in the same percentiles, which we have no idea with the approximation of ultrasound sizing and stuff, measurements, but at the 65th percentile, assuming she gained about ½ pound a week since the last blah, 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 approximately, she is probably 7 pounds and 5 ounces today, given about 7.5 pounds by Friday. That's kind of where we think. But again, measurements are so approximate with ultrasounds, and they can grow at their own speed. So even if she was accurately measured at 31 weeks and 2 days when I had my appointment, she could very likely have grown faster or slower than the average kid does at that point. So, you know, a lot to consider. But 7 pounds and probably 5 ounces, and then they estimate about 8 pounds at birth. Could be 8 pounds 1 ounce, something like that. And my daughter was born at 41 weeks, so 13 days later, and she was 9 pounds. So she was also at the same percentiles at that ultrasound, say 65th percentile at the same point in my pregnancy. So assuming they grew at the same rate, you know, 7 pounds, 5 ounces. So in the last 2 weeks between the appointments, my baby gained about 1 pound in theory, and I gained 4 pounds. So I was like, I'm hungry. I have been really liking the sugary cereal. And I asked my doctor, I said, do you think the baby's growing? Do they tend to stay on their own percentiles? Like if she was 65th percentile, do you think she's about that when she's born? 8 weeks later after that ultrasound? And he said, not necessarily. He said, if the mom gains a lot of weight or eats a lot of sugar at the end, the baby grows faster. And I was like, well, I just put on 4 pounds in 2 weeks. So it might have been more like 3, but like I said, it was later in the day. So I'd had another meal and I hadn't like emptied that meal yet, you know what I mean? But like still 3 pounds in 2 weeks, and the baby only gained 1 of that. That was 2 pounds of me. So I'm like, ooh. So I'm trying to be good this week, except that right after that appointment, we went to Taco Bell. But I ordered 4 items at Taco Bell, and then I felt guilty about it, and I only ate 2. The other 2 are in the fridge, so that's what I'm having for lunch today. So like, yes, I did have fast food, but I only ate 2 things. I felt, better about that, but that was because I felt so guilty for gaining 4 pounds in 2 weeks. But like, the doctor didn't even comment on it. Like, he did not even bring it up. So because that puts my overall total weight gain, let me think, 11 pounds at 37 and a half weeks now. 11 pounds. Not really that bad. They said 11 to 20. He wanted me to stay under 20, and I have 12 days left before my scheduled C-section. So it's not like, I probably won't gain another 9 in 12 days. Oh my gosh, can you imagine? But anyway, I am feeling the nesting urge so bad. Like, oh my gosh. So let's just get over that right now. Let's just say it. I felt like I needed to clean my car out. My husband put the car seat and the car seat base in his car. And like, we had to move the toddler over to one side because she was in the middle previously, and then put the other car seat in the other way we were facing. And then I realized how dirty the cars were. And I was like, oh my gosh. Like, we've lived in this house since last November, and I know we have not cleaned our cars since then. Like, I mean, with Windex, or like with vacuum, or scrubbing the carpets, or cleaning out the trash. Like, I do it all the time when I'm like leaving the car. I'll take out my cup that I brought, or, from the restaurant, or I'll take out a thing or 2, a wrapper that my daughter had eaten a granola bar or something, but not really cleaned it. And so, before it was 117 degrees out, that's how hot it is here sometimes, I went ahead and like, took a bunch of crap. I had a laundry basket for the things that belonged in the house. I had a trash bag for the things that needed to be thrown away. I brought out the shop vac and vacuumed. I had like the Lysol wipes, and I was scrubbing down the dash and like the steering wheel and all the, hard stuff. And then because it was so hot, I took the carpets out and I just vacuumed the under carpets. I took the mats out, and I brought the mats inside the kitchen where it was air conditioned and not like 100 degrees. And I did those on the floor of my kitchen tile, and it took a long time, and I was trying really hard to get all the dog fur and stuff, and my husband took my shop vac away. I had a contraction, and I was doing too much. At this point in pregnancy, you need to like kind of calm down. And my husband took the shop vac away, and he was like, I think you need to take a break. Like, I think he put it back out in the garage, and I was like, but I want to finish cleaning the cars. And he was just like, no, like, you've had enough. Like, I had been working, for like an hour and a half on the car, and like scrubbing and vacuuming, and I'm very out of breath. Like, I mean, it's not as bad at this moment, but like, can you imagine bent over and like sitting on the floor and all this stuff? And he was just like, no. And then I confessed that I'd had a contraction since I'd started, and he was like, you're done. And I also I started, when I had the shop vac in the kitchen, I was like, ooh, this kitchen mat needs to be done. Ooh, I should do the ones in the bathroom too, because, the cleaning people do it every month, but I can throw them in the washer too, or I can vacuum them by hand with the shop vac. And, wanted to do like the couches, and he was just like, no, you're done. You need to take a break. You need to take a breath, like rest. And I was like dripping sweat from being out in the garage. So I just threw my hair up in a bun and then got in the shower real quick and just tried to like rinse off, cool down, drank a couple cups of water, felt a little better. So it's true. You do, if you work too much, you get contractions. So I asked my doctor several questions when I was there about labor, because I said, I'm 37 weeks and 2 days. Can you check me? So when he checked fundal height, 38 weeks, fine. He checked baby's heartbeat with the Doppler, was 149, it's fine. And she was moving during the appointment, so that was always good. And then he checked if I was dilated, and he said I'm not at all. So it doesn't surprise me. When I was pregnant with my daughter, I didn't dilate either until like later. So 37, I'm like, okay. And then I asked him I've heard some people talk about the pulse reader thing on their fingers, so they're not supposed to have manicures and stuff when the baby comes. Is that true? And he said, you can have your toes done, but it's better if you don't have your fingers done, because they have other ways of taking your pulse, like the ear thing and stuff in the hospital, but it's just better if your fingers aren't painted. And I thought about it, and I was like, so then I don't have to touch it up, because like the likelihood of me, I usually paint them myself, so they only last a few days anyway. And if I go in on a Monday, the chances that they're going to still look pretty on Wednesday or Thursday, like perfect, and like I would want to touch them up when I have a newborn at home, like probably not going to do it. And then I have to take polish remover and remove it. Like, am I really going to do that? probably just end up chipping it off with my teeth and my fingers, you know? So it's like, okay, I just won't have my nails done. My mother-in-law had talked about taking me to go get my nails done before the baby came, but I may just have them do a pedicure. My pedicure looks pretty bad right now, but that's because I try to do it myself and I can like barely reach and breathe, and I tried to like, it was done, but then I touched it up. Like I put another coat on top to like show where it had been like wearing, to like hide where it had been wearing down. And then it looks like splotchy and like not even. And, but I'm like, do I care? You know what I mean? Like I'm this pregnant, like that's good. Like you're lucky I'm showered and here, and I showed up and I makeup on today. Like that's pretty good. Other things. Oh, nesting. So we do have the car seat in, the bags are packed. Like I said, I got the house, you know, the cleaning lady came last week, so the house is like pretty good. I just picked out my daughter's outfits for like the next, I don't know, month. I ran out of hangers. That's how many outfits I picked out. Like I have her like everyday outfits hung. I might need to grab like bloomers to go under the dress or whatever, but like I at least know I do clothing week themes for her. So like right now she's wearing Hawaiian looking clothes or like tropical or like summer, you know, like ocean or whatever, like some turtles or Hawaiian looking flower prints or flamingos or anything like tropical for the next like week or so. And then when the baby comes, she has some matching onesies, matching outfits that match the babies. Like we have it in a newborn size and we have it in a 24-month size. So they like barely fit her. And then I have some outfits that say like sisters, big sister, I'm a sister, you know, that kind of thing for a little while. And then I just picked out like a week's worth of Minnie Mouse, a week's worth of princesses, and a week's worth of like Doc McStuffins. So like I have her outfits hung for now until like probably September, October. I don't even know. So that's good. Because now I don't have to think about dressing her. And like if somebody else dresses her, her outfits are like laid out. They might have to go to like her dresser where her pants are and like grab a pair of pants to go with the shirt. But at least I know, you know, I know that's like a simple thing, and probably most people don't pick their kids' clothes out in advance, especially when they have a baby. They're like stressed out. But it's something that I have done, and I've done it for 2 years. So why would now be any different? Like I don't want her life to change. Like I don't want to think about it. It's already done for me. So by the time I have to pick out her clothes again, like September, October, I should be feeling better. You know what I mean? Probably October, maybe end of September. Okay. Also, I did have a one-on-one with my boss yesterday, and I told them like I've got my email draft ready to go with all the projects I'm working on, who the contacts are, where I'm at statuses, and I've been updating that daily, every single day with anything that changes. Current statuses, attaching any emails that are, you know, relevant so that the person who's going to cover for me while I'm out has all that. I've got my like automatic email reply, like the out of office, like ready, that all I have to do is publish it if I go into labor unexpectedly. I told them, you know, let me know if you need anything else from me before I go. I mean, my plan is I'm going to work Thursday, Friday, and then next week, and then I'm done. And like Friday, I'll just go dark for 8 weeks. But in the event that I decide to take 12, 8 weeks is full pay. The other 4 weeks would be FMLA, so zero pay. So I'd have to like make that call. I'm planning on going back at 8 weeks, and I told them that, but I said, you know, I'm allowed to take 12. So in the event that like we're still struggling with, you know, whatever, sleep or breastfeeding or recovering or, you know, anything like that. And then also like my brother-in-law and his wife are due, you know, pretty soon after. And so in the event that she goes early and my mother-in-law is our primary childcare and she can't stay home and watch the baby because she needs to go help her son with their new baby, like I can just take off, you know, the week or 2 or 3 or 4 or whatever, but it will be no pay. So the boss is like, all right, just let me know. Just send me an email or, you know, text me or something before that date comes if for some reason you think you're going to take longer. But he said he already has some, you know, contractors or people who can backfill me if I'm gone. So that's good. Another worry, you know, I just take pride in my job, and it makes me feel good to know that I'm covered and not leaving my team, you know. Also, let's see. I'm so ready. Let's talk about physical symptoms real quick. I have started throwing up again this last week. I've thrown up several times, and it's usually triggered by bad smells, not necessarily acid, I think. Like changing my daughter's poopy diapers, I can do it sometimes, and sometimes I throw up. So anytime that she's pooped, when I'm about to sit down to change her, I have to have like a trash can next to me. That's it. And then I'm fine. And most of the time I don't puke, but it's like, I have to have that trash can there in case I do. Usually if my husband's around, you know, he'll do it or do it with me. Like he'll hold her legs while I wipe. And then if I have to leave mid change, he'll finish it out. But I can't even stand the smell of the diaper trash can, like, cause we keep it in her closet. So if I open the closet to like get her clothes out or something, the smell just like, I'm like, ugh, and I get to feel a little nauseous. So I'm definitely still sensitive to smell. I'm not that swollen. My rings, these are like my fake rings that my real wedding ring does not fit anymore. So I'm more swollen than that, but I'm not, the fake ring I bought is still really big. My doctor said I could keep that on. I also asked my doctor about eating and drinking before my appointment, and all that. And of course, no eating or drinking anything 8 hours before. So I have to be there at 10:30 a.m. My surgery is at 12:30. So I'm just gonna have like a late night snack and go to bed and then not eat that day. Pedicure is okay, manicure is not. Don't take my medicine that morning, like my medicine for MS or prenatals or any of that stuff. I'll just take them Sunday or Sunday night or something and then not take them Monday. I can start taking stool softeners right before, but I don't really want to because I don't have a problem and it might cause diarrhea and I don't want diarrhea. So if I do start taking it before the surgery, I'll probably take it like the day before. And then hopefully by the time it kicks in, like Monday or Tuesday, I'll be feeling fine. But last thing you want is to have diarrhea, like in addition, because then you're gonna be like, what, shitting yourself in bed? Like, I don't want to do that. So maybe I won't take it at all. I did refill my inhaler and they gave me 3 months worth. So it's kind of like an asthma induced by pregnancy. Like I've had asthma my entire life, but it's been like so mild that I didn't really even need a rescue inhaler. But since I've been pregnant this time only, I like can't breathe and I wheeze a lot in bed and stuff. So I got the Advair, what's it called? 250, 25, something like that. And I did refill that and I got 3 months worth. So hoping I'm gonna just like try going without it after babies, like not pressing on my lungs and I can breathe more and see if I don't need it after all. It is kind of expensive. It's usually $30 a month. It was 87, I think, for 3 months worth. And so if I don't need that, obviously it would be better. And I don't want to put all those chemicals in my body if I don't need to. What else? Yeah, we're seriously, like, the house is ready to go. I have my list of things that I want to pack last minute, like cell phone chargers and my retainer and my wrist braces that I wear to bed because my hands fall asleep. But honestly, like if I forget them, it's fine. Got my extension cord so I can reach the cord plug, and my phone is not charging real well. Like it's not consistently fast charging on certain chargers. So I don't want to pack my charger yet because my phone is picky. Do you guys know what I mean? Like when it's starting to go and only one certain charger does like a really good job. The other ones you have to like keep fidgeting and like shifting the position of the plug to like get it to start charging again. You know what I mean? Like the charger's plugged in, but it's not actively charging. So I want to wait to plug in, to pack the one that actually works really well till the last minute. And I packed the snacks bag in there. I moved my stuff from my bathtub. I have like a backup shampoo, backup conditioner, backup body wash, all that stuff. I put one of those in the shower because we have separate showers and bath, so that when I come home from the hospital, it's not all in the bathtub and I don't have to like bend and get it. I just put mine in the shower stall thing. I put some pads and like my peri bottle and stuff in 2 of our 3 bathrooms upstairs. So that upstairs is our house. Like there's a basement, that's why I say it. So our main level. I probably won't be going down to the basement in my in-laws' house much if I'm just had surgery anyway, so I don't need to have their bathroom stocked, but I have my stuff down here, up here for bathroom usage in 2 of the 3 bathrooms, so that I don't have to like walk around the house trying to do that. I refilled as much as I can. I bought an extra bag of dog food. I got bottled water in the fridge. Like, I got some freezer meals in there. Not freezer meals that I prepped, but like Stouffer's, like lasagna trays, Stouffer's, casseroles, Stouffer's, stuff like that that I can make. Totally not sponsored, but if Stouffer's wants to sponsor me, let me know. And then, my mother-in-law will cook. We've got pot pies I can bake, where you just like literally preheat the oven, put the pot pie on a cookie sheet and bake it, and an hour later you have a really good dinner. So yeah. And then, like pair that with a salad mix bag that you just buy pre-made. Dump that in a bowl and you've got a really good dinner. So let's see. Oh, we're doing a fantasy football draft the day before the baby is supposed to come, and that was like my husband's like plan. He was anyway, so I agreed to it, and I'm like, just know that if this baby comes, we're not participating, and you'll have to move the date. He said, okay. So I want to get that fantasy football draft in before baby comes, because then it's really hard to get 2 hours, like, and you're so tired, and it's like, is that what I want to do if I have 2 hours free? No, it's not really my thing. I don't even really like football, but I do it because my husband is like the commissioner, and it's a family league. It's like my in-laws and my brother-in-law, you know, my parent. It's fun. It's a lot of us that we know each other, and so I want to participate, but like if I just had the baby, I'd probably be like, I'm good. Like, I don't need to, I'll bow out, you know? And then entertaining the 2-year-old while the draft is going on, because we do it like in person, but on our computers at the same time in the same room. Does that make sense? Anyway, entertaining the 2-year-old while we do the draft is kind of hard too. So hoping I don't have a 2-year-old and a newborn at the same time. 12 days, the doctor said, I asked, like, do you think I will go early? And he said, I think I'll see you next week, but there are always exceptions since I wasn't dilated at all. And then, let's see, I asked him, what are the chances that I'll get bumped? Like, my C-section is scheduled Monday, you know, at 12:30. It's like, what are the chances that they'll move me? He goes, if they move you, it'd be like by an hour or so, like usually not a big deal. And he said once a month or so, they'll move somebody to the next day. But he said usually, even if they're running behind on other births or people take longer to labor than they thought or whatever, he said they don't schedule C-sections on Saturdays and Sundays. So like once in a while, somebody will need one, like an emergency C-section, but usually by Sunday, by Monday, they're caught up. Like anybody who was scheduled Friday, they got rolled to Saturday, or Saturday got rolled to Sunday. He's like, we don't schedule anybody for Saturdays and Sundays. So the hospital should be, you know, no backlog by the time Monday 12:30 rolls around. I should be free to have the C-section. And then I asked how long would I be there, and we had talked about this before, but I wasn't sure, like, you know, I couldn't remember. And he said 60% of my patients go home after C-sections go after 2 days, 2 nights. So like if I have her on a Monday, I'd stay there Monday night, Tuesday night, and go home on Wednesday. He said 30% of my patients go on the 3rd night, after the 3rd night, so Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night, and they go home on Thursday. And he said 10% or so on their own choice usually will go home on that 4th night, after the 4th night, because they have like 6 kids at home, and it's like easier where they have help at the hospital, help with the newborn. Or they had a complication like an infection and they're still trying to recover from preeclampsia, like side effects or, you know, anything like that. So he's like, it really isn't, a lot of times it's not me saying they have to stay 4 nights. It's often them like choosing to. He said like very, very rarely. So I'm hoping to have a baby on the Monday and then get home by Wednesday. So it's just 2 nights away from our 2-year-old, and hopefully by then I'm feeling good. And, you know, he did say again, the spinal versus epidural. So the spinal should be faster acting, like out of my system within 2 or 3 hours from when I have, you know, the surgery. So hopefully I'm like up and moving around much faster than I was last time with the epidural, because that was like 8 or 9 hours, I think it is. What else? Trying to remember what else I asked him. I think that's about it. But yeah, side effects, really, I'm just feeling big and very painful kicks. And I mentioned that to the doctor. He's like, what else? What other symptoms are you having? And I said, well, I just feel like she's kicking me really hard. I mean, I get some amazing videos. I always say I'll try to insert them here, but I don't know if I'll have time. But I mean, she just like, boom, 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 you know, like crazy in my belly. And I mentioned that they like kind of hurt sometimes. And I have the diastasis recti. And he said, well, of course they hurt. She's big. She's big. She's moving around in there. She's really big now. And so it's like he didn't seem concerned. And then I asked about contractions and when to go in. And he said, I had chorioamnionitis last time. It's an infection basically as if my water had been broken for like days and days and days, even though it had only been broken a few hours. I got an infection inside. And so they had to take the baby to the nursery and give her IV, like antibiotics too. And it was just like, I was shaking, I had a fever, it was bad. So I don't want my water to break and then like sit at home and labor for a while. But he said, previously he had said, if you make it to 37, 38, 39 weeks, chances are your baby's gonna go home with you, probably. Like you stay 3 days, the baby goes home on day 3 with you, probably. Of course there are exceptions. But he said, if you have her before this is when I was like 32, 33 weeks asking this, he said, I'll try to stop your labor and then your baby may end up being in the hospital longer than you. They'll be in the NICU or the nursery. You may be discharged, but your baby will be there. So he said, try to make it, if you can make it to 37, 38, 39 weeks, that would be great. Chances are the baby can come home with you. So then I asked him this time when I was 37 weeks, 2 days when I saw him, and I'm like, so if I just start having contractions, do I call you and go in? and have the baby? And he's like, you need to have them for like 2 hours at home, the kind of ones that are painful contractions where you can't just like talk and walk through them. And then, or if your water breaks, if you're in active labor, you know, go in or whatever. But he said, if you go in and your contractions stop and you're only 37 weeks and 3 days or 2 days, he's like, we're going to send you back home. So just having a contraction here or there isn't good enough. He wanted them every few minutes and to be painful and to have them regularly. And I was like, I thought the whole point of having a scheduled C-section was that if I went into labor, you just take the baby out. And he's like, yeah, at a certain point, like at 39 weeks, I would totally do that. But at 37, he's like, if there's any chance that you're going to stop contracting, then I would rather you stop, because for the good of the baby developing, then we're going to just send you home. He's like, even if you get one more day, that's another day the baby is cooking and, you know, maturing, developing. At this point, she should be fully developed. Like lots of babies are born in week 37 and a half weeks, and they're fine. But, you know, lungs, brain, the surfactant like helps them practice breathing stuff, fast, like nursing. Sometimes they don't have that ability to suck very well when they're preemies and stuff. But at this point, she's considered early term, not preterm, like preemie. She'd be early term. And then at 39 weeks, she'd be considered full term. And then there's like late terms, like 40 to 41 weeks or something. Anyway, so I'm ready. This was a very long video. I can't believe I'm doing these weekly and I still find a way to like talk for 27 minutes. It shocks me. Do you guys have any questions, anything you want to see in the series? I do have her name reveal and nursery tour coming to you. I have what's in my hospital bag and tips for that. I have transitioning to 2 kids, toddlers. I want to do a day in the life where I like show our life now, and then I want to do one later once baby's here, but I don't know if I'm going to get to it. Like I said, you never know when you're going to go. This baby could come out tonight. But doctor said he thought he would see me next week. So I had an appointment at 37 weeks and 2 days. I've said that like 10 times. My next one is at 38 weeks and 2 days, which is Tuesday, like the 14th, 13th, something like that. And what is that date? Tuesday the 13th, I have another appointment. And I scheduled dental work to be done on Wednesday the 14th because like I need something done and I don't want to do it after baby. And so the dentist is like, well, we'll see if we get you in. So the 14th, I have dental work scheduled. Hopefully I make it that long to get it done. And then after that, I have the baby. He said it only takes like a half hour in the chair. I didn't like it when I had my teeth cleaned this last week because they like leaned me back and I was like laying on my back for too long. So I kind of like laid on my side and he like tried to do it because it was on one side of my mouth and you know, it was fine. But he said this procedure is only like 30 minutes or so and shouldn't be too bad. So it's like a filling. Anyway, yeah, I think that's it. So let me know if there's anything else you guys want to see and what you want to see postpartum. Let me know. Thanks for watching. Bye.